Greetings, everybody. Okay, so I was gonna do a live on here anyway, and I kind of just wanted to leave the topic open because I have my life purpose cards or light worker cards, sorry, light workers oracle cards out, and I was gonna do a reading off of that. And then I kind of felt like this weird sense of kind of like helplessness, like when certain things happen around the world and I feel like I don't speak on them a lot, or I don't speak on them at all. And sometimes I might get readings or messages about love and stuff, and I feel like almost kind of like I'm condemning myself, like it's this guilt for no reason, like, oh well, you should be talking about this and you should be talking about that around the world. And it's like, there's things going on in the world, and you it's things always going on in the world, right? And it's just this feeling of like, well, what can I do? Like, what is it? Not saying that there's nothing that you can do, but it's just like, as a messenger, it's like you feel the pressure to speak on certain things like that. So unfortunately today and a couple of weekends ago, there's been a lot of violence, you know what I'm talking about, with the grocery stores situation, and now this elementary school situation. And I find it weird. It seems like around this time of year, it's always like some type of racial driven tragedy that takes place. And I don't like, it's sad because it's elderly people, and on top of that, now you have kids involved in it. So that just really bothers me. Just as a person and as a mother, and on top of that, as just as a messenger. So I'm gonna still do the reading or whatever, but it's just some stuff, like as a person, like I said, not even just as a messenger or a light worker or whatever, but this stuff, it does it does hit in its own way. And I try to see past it, not get too attached to stuff like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's why I try not to spend so much time like online, and I don't like watching TV, like network, like live TV. Like I might watch like Netflix or something, or Amazon movies or something, but I don't really like watching live TV news and news stations, and I just can't. It's too much. But you can't escape reality in what you see. So, alrighty, enough of that for now. But yeah, I be praying, and it's so weird because just last week, like literally last week, my brother was showing me and my mom this skit on YouTube. I don't know why he tried to make, I don't know if he was trying to make, it was kind of like comedy in a sense, but it shouldn't have been something that they turned into you know what I mean? But like when I was watching it, I heard in my spirit, I heard something like that is going to happen. And I tried to shut it out, like, no, that's just a figment of my imagination. Like, obviously, I'm watching something like this. And you know how whispering spirits are. They'll tell you, oh, yeah, this is something. You know what I mean? So I ignored it. So, yeah. Yeah. I can't deal with stuff like that. I can't. And I know some stuff be staged, so I try not to get too attached. But at the same time, I know that someone did lose their life, as I'm like, for sure. Like it might have been some stage stuff, like in other incidents. There'll be, tragedies that get staged, as they call them, crisis actors and stuff. But I still don't play with that. And I know that what they do is they try to attack the spirit of people collectively by doing certain things. They try to ravel, it's so many different propagandas that come along with stuff like that. So that's why I'm not trying to get too involved in it, emotionally at least. But I can't help it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull Let me collect myself real quick, because... All right. Holy Spirit, collectively, what is the message? What is the message? Yeah, I send love to the moms and dads and anyone that's affected, whoever got hurt. That's just too much for me. I can't wrap my mind around why someone would do that. I don't see how people can harm kids in any type of way. Elderly, like, it's just demonic, honestly. Sometimes I'm led to, like, talk about racial things as well, especially, like, as a Black woman. There's a lot of violence, even, you know, with Black women getting, you know, taken out of this earth, off of this earth, through the hands of majority of it. Majority of the time, it's lovers, or out of some type of violence of a man against a woman because of rejection, or, you know, something like that. Something as far as breaking up with somebody or turning someone's advances down. It's just, it's like scary out here. And, like, I don't know what's going on with these men out here. Not all men, but it's like a group of, like, these demonic men, like, that feel this entitlement to harm. And on top of that too, some of them not only take out their girlfriends or wives or whatever, they're doing it to their kids as well, if not taking their own selves out. You know, it's just so demonic. And it's like, what is going on? What the hell is going on? For real. I'm tired of hearing about these stories about, oh, this woman, this pregnant, like, it's just too much. Like, what? I don't know. God. What the fuck? And I speak even more on that because, or want to speak more on that because with Black women as a collective, we're always seen as these strong characters that our pain is almost overlooked because it's almost like it's almost like they think we're exaggerating our pain, like we can take pain more than anybody else, or we don't have the proper protection. We're the least protected women of all races, period. The least protected. And every time we cry, our cries are overlooked, or they're seen, oh, you're an angry Black woman, or oh, your experience is not that bad. We don't get the opportunity to properly express ourselves. Man, I can go on and on about that, but hey. Yeah, and because of, you know, years and years and generations of being everybody's source of strength, right? As a woman, you're supposed to rest in your femininity, but Black women, we don't get the luxury to do that. And when we do choose ourselves, we get ridiculed for it. We get demonized for it. It's just a lot. Just horrible. And then the men in your own community are constantly abusing you, constantly pretty much your enemy against you, right? They say the most hateful things. They might as well be the new white supremacists, you know, the men in the community. Most of them have shown that over the years, and it's sad. And shout out to those channels that cover those stories and talk about those issues that get overlooked in the mainstream media because it's a Black woman or it's a Black young girl and they don't feel like it's big enough news to broadcast. You know, their stories get overlooked. Shout out to those channels. One of them, her name is Leah Gordon, I think her name is, one of the channels. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, and I appreciate that collective culture, because a lot of other races of people, you know, even as women, just as a collective, some of them may feel a little bit intimidated to speak up for Black women, and you shouldn't feel like that. Like, You shouldn't. I feel like more people should, just because the fact of just being a human. Like, why does it have to be, oh, we can't do this because we're white or we're black? Like, to me, racism is demonic, period. Prejudice and all of that, I feel like we all learn that in our, collectively in our own communities. We get taught certain stereotypical stuff like, oh, black people are like this, Asian people are like this, and we carry that stupid stuff in our community, in our personal communities. But I never understood racism fully. Like, the genesis of it is a demonic nature within itself. Like, to hate somebody because of their skin color, their shape of their nose, their hair texture, how they speak, phenotypically, whatever, their nose, their eye shapes, it's just stupid. And it's even more scary that people in your own community are hating the very thing that they are a product of. Like, how are you hating your own dark skin, your hair texture? And a lot of it's just, oh, it's my preference. Like, I can go on and on about that, but nobody wants to talk about that here on this channel. This channel's not, at least as a tarot reader, I guess, as I've been probably subject to, obviously, because I read cards, but that's not all I am. I would like to speak freely, because this is my platform, my channel, to speak on these things. But yeah, it's detrimental. And if I'm, going to be helping women in certain ways to elevate themselves, anybody essentially, this channel specifically, my other channel is more so for the feminine collective and young women collective. But if that is the case, then all of it's got to come out, because it's healing at the end of the day, and it's bringing awareness to certain things. And I'm going to speak for women of color, and specifically black women and darker black women, having to deal with feeling unworthy because of whatever, because how they were born. You can't help how you're born, even to the extent that trauma extends to grown women altering their faces, getting skin cream, skin color change, all kind of stupid stuff, and feeling like they're not pretty enough or they're not worthy enough, by their own people for the most part. It's bad enough the world is telling you in so many different ways, through magazines, through movies, that you're ghetto, you're the last chosen, you're not the prettiest one. And if it's one of you that's pretty, it can only be one of you as the token black girl or the token Asian girl in the film, or the Latina, and you have all these different stereotypes in the movies and the shows. That's enough of trauma. So for men to speak on that and say that, oh, you over exaggerating, you're an angry black woman, and you're this, you're that. Well, if you were in our shoes since the day you were born, you're taught that you're not beautiful. What do you expect? Thank God for those of us that do see beauty in who we are, but there's still that stigma of feeling like, okay, you're the last chosen. You got to have a Eurocentric look. Your hair has to be a certain hair texture. Your skin color has to be this. It's a lot into that. It's a lot. It's a lot. And just as a woman, period, there's so much that's placed on a woman from birth. A lot of pressure. Yes, men have pressures. I feel like it's just kind of like women's pressures get swept under the rug. What is that show called? The Handmaid's Tale. Like, that show triggers me. I can't watch it. I don't know how my mom used to sit there and watch that show. I think it's actually originally a book, but I can't sit and watch shit like that. Like, that type of slavery and women oppression. I can't watch shit like that. Cannot. Yeah. I really wish that this stuff would just, like, it would stop. Like, I feel like it is generational. It's perpetrated. Like, kids don't know anything about racism really until they're taught that, or prejudice. racism really truly is a systematic thing. So I don't believe that black people or other races or minorities can be racist. They can be prejudiced against other races, but they cannot be racist because they don't have the power to systematically oppress a full group or whole group of people. They just don't. So racism is more of a white supremacist. It's a systematic organization, or more so than it is something that everybody has we don't all have the ability to oppress a race. So we can't necessarily be racist. We can be prejudiced, yes. So that word gets thrown around loosely. We all can't be racist. We don't all, as a minority group of people, we don't have the power to oppress groups of people. We can't tell someone that they can't work the job because they look of their hair texture, or they're wearing braids, or they have dreads, or we don't have the power to do that. We don't. Not as a whole group, we don't. So, no. But if we all could just like stop it, because at the end of the day, it's really a demonic system to oppress people as a whole and cause discord. That's really what it is. It's to cause discord against humanity, period. At least that's how I feel spiritually. I feel like it's something to cause discord against humanity, to cause separation. We can have our own communities and things like that and still coexist together without the hatred. Like, that's cool. That's fine. If that's what you choose, you know what I mean? Like, you can, whatever. You don't have to necessarily mix and mingle with everybody or sleep with different races and to end racism. That doesn't, I mean, because there's interracial couples that still perpetrate that type of stuff, that prejudice, that self-hatred, excuse me, I'm trying to say two words at once, self-hatred against groups of people, and they still hate other races. They just have a fetish for something else. Or it could just be because, oh, I only date this type of woman because she's not this type of, you know what I mean? Like, it's still sickness circling. So interracial marriages, dating, having biracial children doesn't stop the sickness. That doesn't, it's not going to cure racism or prejudice. In some cases, yeah, it might be help if it is a product of love, not off of self-loathing and self-hatred and the hate of another group of people. There's a difference with that, or a fetish, or whatever the case may be. But you can be cool with communities and still thrive in your own communities without the hate. That's what I don't get about human nature, or whatever this thing we call racism, why it exists. I can go on and on, but I'm not going to do that. I promise I'll do the reading. But yeah, I just had to get that off my chest, because it's just like, I don't speak a lot about certain things. Like, I be wanting to, and I'm like, well, my channel is not a social awareness channel. It's not that. But I don't like to be placed in a box either. I'm just not just a reader. Like, I have a voice too. I'm not just here to just serve people, to give them messages and entertain people. Like, we have voices. Every human has a voice, period. We all got voices. I understand that YouTube has these rules, or people place rules and labels on themselves, or other content creators, that says you can't do more than one thing. You got to stick to one genre. And I guess maybe for algorithm purposes and reasons, maybe, I guess, you know, there's social content creators, there's beauty channels, there's tarot channels, there's racial social awarenesses, different stuff like that. But I cannot be placed in a box. So if I want to speak on my little soapbox, okay, I'm going to speak, okay? So, yeah. There's just so much, child, that I be wanting to talk about. But, yeah, let's just get into the reading. I got my Lightworker Oracle out for a reason. I was using it earlier today, and I felt led to place it on here. Yes, racism and prejudice is both a harmless thing, period. You know? Yes. Thank you, Collective Culture. I appreciate it. All right, let's tap in. I'm probably gonna have to put like a timestamp just so people can know where the reading starts. But grounding. Yeah. Okay, so you have number 15, grounding. So I'll say that this message is for those of you just as a light worker, and don't put a heavy emphasis on what you think the title light worker means, where you feel like you gotta be, you know, doing so much. The thing of being a light worker is just being a light, period. Whatever that is that you feel that you're called to do with your light, to benefit, to help others as well as yourself, do that. I feel like it does come a time where you have to center and ground your energy, because shoot, y'all just saw I had a little quick, it wasn't a meltdown, but it was a quick venting session, because there's so much stuff that's going on in the world, and it does need an outlet at times. And it's natural, because if you are also an empathic person, empathic nature, you pick up energy, you feel energy deeply. So you gotta learn how to ground it and how to transmute it and send love back into not only yourself but back into the earth. It looks like she's doing a grounding ritual where she's sending light into the earth. So when things like this take place in our in our country or outside of the country, you know, other things that may touch you around the world, when certain things like that, transmute the energy to light and love and send it to the earth. A lot of things that are happening, they may be, there's many different reasons why. It could be transits, things stationed in the planets in the heavens. It could be so things happening, just divine revelations, and just prophetic happenings around the earth, things that have already been foretold that are taking place. Is it always pretty and light? No. So as you as a light, you are meant to still spread the good news and spread love at the end of the day, and help to shift the energy and make a difference. And even if you feel like, oh, it's just a small little me, oh, it's just little me here, I don't have a platform, or I don't know a lot of people, or I don't know how to give, or whatever, you'll be divinely led into how to get back to the earth, even if it's something personal between you and you and spirit. You don't have to go about telling everybody, oh, I donated to a cause, or be out as an activist. Everybody has their own placement and what they are called to do. You know, not everyone's built to be an activist. Not everyone's built to start organizations, you know what I mean, or start YouTube channels. Like, you're called to what you're called to, and honor what you're called to do, because everybody has their own place in this universe, and whatever is planted on the inside of them. So I'm getting with that, ground your energy. Isn't that the symbol of earth? I think this is the earth symbol, if I'm not mistaken. Astrology geeks, y'all can confirm that. I believe that is the earth symbol. All right. I really like these cards. The Rise of the Warrior Oracle. It's from it's a UK indie deck. I was searching far and wide for this deck. Like, I stayed up for like hours trying to search and find this deck, because the thumbnail, the reader that was using, I seen the thumbnail, and I was like, okay, thank you, collective. Yeah, it's the earth symbol. And I was like, I clicked on it, I was like, oh, where'd she get that deck from? And I looked everywhere, because she didn't say what the deck was, and she didn't put it in the comment or in the description, nowhere that we could find it. And I was trying to go through the comments, and the comments was all, you know, talking about the reading. I was like, damn, ain't nobody asked where this deck came from. So I looked at another video. Still, she didn't mention it. So I'm like, damn, okay, I'm going to have to take the keywords that I see on the cards and type them in a Google search and see if I can find them. And then some of them kind of had like similar messages to like other decks. So I'm like, dang, I really can. And then one of the cards, like later, like maybe a couple of days or so after that initial search, because I was looking for this deck for like a week. So when I finally found this deck, it was a pick a card reading that came up in the Google search that had these cards. And luckily the girl, she had tagged the different decks that she was using in the video, and I was like, okay, I recognize that deck, I recognize that one, so it must be this one. Put it in the Google search, an Etsy shop popped up. So I'm like, I'll be damned, because I also looked at book something, Depot, whatever, bookdepot.com, Amazon, Google. I even looked up at Etsy. I looked up in the UK different Oracles decks, and this one did not pop up initially until I found it through a pick a card. And I was like, I'll be dang. I worked a 9 to 5 shift looking for this deck, like for real. But I do really like it. It's got like a mixture of like self-love messages, light worker messages, love messages. So it's like a good mixture. Shadow messages. Like, child, I look to and fro for this deck. Past life, a connection through time. Okay. Divine law and health. So health, it says time to look after yourself. So some of you guys are called to rest. Divine law, things are going in your favor. I'm not going to look at the cards so literal. I feel like that divine law period, it's a karmic justice that is going to take place and is taking place in a lot of ways. I feel like when certain things happen, you guys have been called to be here. With the past life card, you were called to be here when you got here. So there's no mistake why you're here. You're here for divine reason, divine purpose, divine time, and you have the rise of the warrior at the bottom of the deck. So yes, things are happening the way that they're happening. And I feel like Spirit does, it's like a reminder again with that health card to take care of yourself as these transitions are happening. I'm getting something with the heart chakra. It's a muddy color though. It's not a bright, healthy green heart chakra color. It's like kind of like war paint. There are people, and I feel like with this card, if you look at it, looks like these men, they're caged up. Something with Gemini season. With these men, they almost seem to be like a mirror image or like Siamese twins. I'm getting Gemini. These energies are they know that their time, these dark entities, they know that their time is short and they're being cleared up. And a lot of people are being demonically used as agents to perpetrate these things and to cause as much destruction as they can. But there's about to be a divine balance and divine justice in the planet. And it's these false masculines. I'm not trying to come at men because not all men are operating in this demonic toxic energy. But for those that are operating this energy, their time, whoever, and if it be that you are watching, because some of them do, they don't like, this is another thing too, I'm calling them motherfuckers out too. A lot of karmic men, demonic men like to watch women that do like, they love to feed off of feminine energy, more so women that are intuitive, women that are nurturers, givers. That's why you see a lot of light workers being attacked, women specifically being attacked by men, pregnant women being attacked by men, because it's a demonic force that knows that this feminine rise is about to happen. It's inevitable. The mother of all civilization, the mother, the root, the life giver, she has taken her rightful place. So many times we've been taught that women are the lesser, they are the feet, right? No, they are the womb. They are the womb. They have given life to you and to the children. So divine be damned if you think you're going to run a buck up in here in this universe and continue to oppress the mother and oppress the children, which is the light, which is the sunlight, the light beings. I'll be damned. So take care of yourself. And if you are a man, it's not excluding your power as a man in this world, because all three pillars must stand together: the mother, the father, and the son, the Holy Trinity. And that's a thing. It's also been an attack on family and home for quite some time as well. A lot of dysfunction in the home, a lot of broken homes over the years as well, mainly in minorities as well, in their communities, or I should say black communities, because every other community you see, we are the only one in that. And there's other things that go into that. I don't want to get too far into that. That's a lot of generational stuff as well that we got to unpack, so I'm not going to go too far into that. But these energies, you're seeing these people These men with rage attacking women, attacking children, attacking elderly people. These are not divine masculine energies by any means. These are people that are being demonically used. You could just look at the eyes of these men and see they ain't right. You can tell something's off with them. And also the dark feminine energy, y'all time is up too. These mothers, I'm starting to see more and more stories of mothers harming their children as well, and they saying, oh, something told them to do it. It's telling you they're demonically being used. They're telling you that. And you can even look in their eyes and see that. Sons taking their mothers out. I'm hearing more about that too, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on? For real. Their time is up. They're about to be locked down, spiritually locked. They don't have any power. It's something with Gemini season. And it even could be a hint of Mercury retrograde because Gemini's ruling planet is Mercury. So something's happening here. Yeah, essentially, like, yeah, it could be a thing of these dark masculines hate women, but essentially it's not so much them, it's the spirit in them that's operating in them that hates that hates women because they know what's about to go down. They know that women are being called to be the leaders. They're the mothers. Why not? They gave birth to you. And it doesn't mean that you are less powerful because you haven't had children or you don't have the ability to have children. No, your essence, your energy, period, is the womb spiritually. I'm not talking about just your physical vessel, your spiritual self. As a woman, you are the womb. You give life. And power doesn't mean that you have to take on the burdens of everyone again, because femininity also is a receptive energy. There's going to come a time where you actually have protection. A lot of women have experienced in their lifetime being a picker up or a builder for everyone else, and where is the retribution of that? Where is that come in? We're not just objects for to stay at home and cook and clean, and your sex objects and your beauty queens and all of that. That stuff is shifting. We're not objects. We're not just vessels for you to just take advantage of. And when we don't submit to you, then we get punished. No. Oh, well, I'll just go find me another woman, right? We come into that. That's not what we're... Look. The universe. Who is that? The feminine energy. Divine Mother. Wisdom. You hold the key to the wisdom. And men know that. The men, the divine masculine men, knows the power of their woman next to them. Those weak ass beta energies, those demonic masculine energies, they seek to oppress women because they are not in their divine masculinity. They don't know how to operate in that. So a woman that's in her power and in her light intimidates them. And more than anything, what hurts women naturally, whether they have children or not, is children being harmed. Because naturally, even if you, like I said, whether you've given birth in this lifetime or you don't give birth or you choose not to have children, as a feminine, as a nurturer, you have a heart for children. So whatever just went down recently with the school, the elementary situation, that, don't make no mistake, that is an attack on the feminine as well. These babies, they come from a womb space. And I'm not just talking about feminine in body, like a female body in the physical, but the spiritual. The divine mother space womb gave birth to these children. They came into this planet, and then you got these little dark energies over here. Yeah. Choices. So there's a choice. You see, this is demonic divine masculine, and this is divine masculine energy. Or it could even be opposite, because what we see as demonic, like what we've been taught looks like angelic, it can be cloaked. They did say that Lucifer is a beautiful angel. So what we find to be beautiful can also be very demonic, and what we look at as beastly or ugly can actually be the thing that is divine. So I got to be careful with what I'm saying, but I see what, you know, the contrast of energy. There's a divine masculine and there is a demonic masculine energy here, and that is the feminine energy right there. I can't make this up. I didn't even know these cards had all this in here. This is a new deck that I just got Sunday, and I haven't really used it, so I'm just going with the flow of it. This message is very clear. I'm going to pull from the Avatar deck, tarot deck, and then I'm going to close this out. Choices and how you, because the rise of the divine feminine is going to happen whether people like it or not. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be, regardless of if people like it or not. Truth, right? Ace of Swords. My Ace of Swords, I give credit to the Most High. This ain't me, the world, collective energy. This is a collective global thing. A lot of people's stories are not being told because they may be in foreign countries. We hear it in the US, we forget about it in 2 weeks or months time, and it just kind of goes out of the radar. These stories are happening all around the world. The King of Pentacles, this is divine masculine energy. The Five of Wands in reverse, it's the end of the destruction and the chaos. The toxic masculine, the toxic feminine even. I'm calling the dark feminine energy out too. The Ten of Wands, yeah, the oppression. A lot of our ancestors, they carried a lot of weight. So what you're doing is also being encouraged, and also you're being backed up in the spiritual realm as well. You know, whatever your cause or your call is as a light worker, to send light back into the earth or into this planet, that is not going unnoticed in the spirit realm. You're being assisted. Your angels and your ancestors carried a lot of weight in this physical realm. Things that they couldn't have even imagined that you're able to do as a man or as a woman here in this lifetime. The things that you're able to accomplish. Even children starting their own business. That's a rare thing. You know, that's not something that our ancestors necessarily got the chance to do, to become millionaires in their lifetime before they even turned 18. So this is beautiful breakthroughs, and what you do with your light is everything. Everything. The Empress, look, Divine Mother coming out again. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. This is confirming everything. Like, it wouldn't be complete unless I use my own deck real quick. So let me use my spiritual message deck real quick. So I just want to see what we got going on. Monitoring spirits, of course. I know I'm going to have monitoring spirits watching. I don't give a damn. Oh, well. Let's see. Holy Spirit. Yeah. Much love. I appreciate y'all. False signs and miracles and wonders. Matthew 6, 10, and 8. Okay. So these false signs and wonders, I'm not getting like miracles, like good things. I'm getting like these false flags. I just heard false flags where it's meant to instill hopelessness. It's meant to instill fear, because you got the fear-based card right here. It's meant to instill fear, hopelessness. It takes your eyes off of God. It says, as the Matthew, I chose this is my as above, as below, as it is on earth, as it is in heaven scripture. Matthew 6 and 10 inspired me to write this. So don't get tripped up, because there's things happening in the spirit realm that is going to take place. There's a battle in the spirit realm. So if you see what's going on around you, if you peep game, make no mistake that there's a spiritual warfare here on earth as well, in ways that seem least likely or doesn't seem like it on the surface, but know that it is an attack on the spirit. Tap into the energies that are being most attacked. Tap into your own body and you'll feel into it. Is there stress in your wound? Is there stress and tightness in your stomach? Is there stress in your head? Is there stress in your heart space? You'll know where the energies are being attacked the most if you pay attention. Peep game. Python spirit, spiritual oppression. So the Python spirit, look into that. If you guys don't know what that is, there's different aspects of the Python spirit, but I put spiritual oppression here. So whatever these things are is to oppress the people spiritually. And it may be subconscious. You don't even know you're being attacked. You turn the news on and they're constantly talking about, oh, this outbreak, this, and that. Not saying that that stuff necessarily isn't really happening, but the behind the scenes action behind it, the intent behind these things, it's much more deeper than what they are televising. So you, as a spiritual being, you got to discern past these things. Don't just look at the surface of it. Because as it is on earth, it's something going on in heaven, right? In the spirit realm. You don't just focus on one thing. Okay. All right. So that is a message, y'all. Divine helpers. Yeah. I just shuffled it back in. But you got divine help. You are the divine helper. You have divine help as well. Okay. Yeah. Use your discernment. All right, y'all, that was a message. I know that was probably long-winded, but that stuff, it needed to come out. It did. It really did. It really did. So I appreciate you guys for joining me. I send each and every one of you love. We all have our own plights. We all have a story. We have, you know, things that we are battling or, you know, working towards, striving towards, healing, releasing. That not everyone knows about, you know, our own silent things. But I send you guys love. I send you guys peace at this time, wisdom and understanding that only the divine can bring us at the end of the day, that we can tap into within ourselves, of course. So much love. Be blessed. Be safe. Take care. And I'll talk to you guys in the next read. Peace.